Number 332, now you believe. I want to start with 2 Corinthians 4, 13 and 14. I'm going to read it from the Lamsa, the Aramaic Lamsa Bible. It says, we have the same spirit of faith. Again, listen to this now. We have the same spirit of faith. As it is written, I believed, ED, and therefore have I spoken. Listen to this. We also believe. Therefore we also speak, knowing that he who raised our Lord Jesus shall raise us also by Jesus and shall present us with you. For all things are for your sakes, that the abundant grace might, through the thanksgiving of many, redound to the glory of God. Now think about it. He who raised up the Lord Jesus shall raise us up also and shall present us with you. All things are for your sakes. I mean, who do you think he's talking to? He's talking to people who are interested in what he's talking about. And that's, Jesus gave his life for those who are interested in what he's talking about. And so therefore, he's saying we believe, therefore we have spoken. He's saying you believe, and you also will speak. You don't have any choice because I know the truth about God, and I know the truth about you. And the reason I know this is because you're interested in what it is that I am talking about. That is so powerful. I never looked at it like that until I meditated it this morning. I just kept looking at it. It's like, we believe, therefore we speak. We know. That's really powerful to me. Now, if we look at Psalms 32, verse 8 in the Aramaic says, I have made, M-A-D-E, I've made you to understand. How I made you, you understand. Wow. So let me get this straight. I understand whether my head and my personality, my ego, whatever, is telling me I don't. Yep. I've been made to understand. And so therefore, it's up to my consciousness to reveal that understanding, because I already understand it. We walk by faith and not by sight. I've led you in the way that you ought to take. What? Yeah, I've already led you in the way that you ought to take. I will counsel. That word counsel in Aramaic means kingdom, or kingdom means counsel, word. I have led you. Wow. I will counsel you with my eye. Constantly. I've already led you in this. Now I'm going to counsel you on how to do it. Now, Isaiah 65 and 24. You know, I use this scripture a whole lot. Before they call, I have answered. And while they are speaking, I will hear. I have heard. You translate it any way you want. It doesn't matter, because it's always now. Now let's go to the hook, to the power of it. As songwriters, we always have a hook. We talk and talk and talk, but then we come back to something that we call the hook, the foundation, the title. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, 14 and 15. It says, we know that what God does is done forever, and nothing can be put to it, and nothing taken away. That which is to be has already been, and that which has been is right now. and God will avenge you of your persecutions. Wow. I've already made you to understand. Before you called, I had already answered. Before you ever asked anything, I had answered. And that which is to be is already been. And that which has been, the past, is right now. Present. And you can't help but ask yourself, well, let's throw this one in too. Eye has not seen nor ear heard the things that God has put into our lives. But we have the mind of Christ. We have the Spirit. We know. Wow. Now, I've used these scriptures before, but the deeper you go into them, and the more still you become, they light up again at some point and say, we can go a little deeper in this. We can go just a little deeper in this. There's more to this than what you're looking at. What has already been that is now? What is to be that has already been? I took a stroll down Promised Land. You know how they say Moses was leading the children of Israel to the Promised Land? Well, I call it the Promised Land the promises of God. And I took a stroll down those promises. And when you think about it, the things that people really wish for and long for more than anything is health and wealth. That means they want money and they want to be healthy to be able to enjoy, to be able to do all of the things they want to do and what have you. And as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing wrong with that. And I'll show you why in a few minutes. It's just how you go about it will show you whether you are going in the way that God has led you or you are going your own way like all sheep, gone astray, trying to get it any kind of way you can. And then looking within the laws of the land, making sure that I don't do anything that's outside the law. And it was legal. I could do this. You know, it's like it's legal to be able to take somebody's house if they are in what do they call that? Default. It's legal. The banks can do that. They write contracts to be able to take your home. They write laws if you're letting somebody rent your place and they get behind so many months, you can go legally throw them out on the street. Love your neighbor as yourself. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So if I get enough money and protect myself, then that can't happen to me. Yeah, but are you thinking about what else can happen on the other side of what you call your wealth? See, what we call wealth, not we, of course, none of us on this call think that way. But those who call wealth a bunch of money and property and land and possessions, you know that won't hold you if the health is not there. And if the health is there and you don't have enough health insurance or you don't have enough money or you don't have, that's not going to protect your health. You can buy all the doctors you want. That doesn't mean that that's going to protect your health. So what's going to protect my health? What's going to protect my wealth? What's going to protect me? Consciousness. See, when consciousness knows I am already protected, I am already wealthy, I am already healthy. Why? Because that which is to be. Well, wait a minute. How do I know that I am to be healthy and I am to be wealthy? Well, John said, beloved, above all things, I wish that you be what? Prosperous and in divine health, even as your soul prospers. He's saying your soul is prospering, and so you are prospering because I desire it, and I'm in faith. And so, therefore, I have that same spirit of faith that raised Jesus from the dead, so I know you're healthy. And if you're interested in what it is that I'm talking about, then your wealth and your health, your wholeness, your wisdom, that will start to reflect itself as ideas within you because your consciousness understands this. Isn't that powerful? You know, I go back and I think about, I told y'all last week that, you know, one morning I wake up and the night before when I went to bed, and a little voice said, something really nice is going to happen to you. Really nice is going to happen to you for your birthday. And I'm going, yeah, okay, right. But I moved on. And I told y'all, you know, of course, the song came out, and my voice is sampled on it, and all of this and what have you. But then I let it go. I was like, okay, that was wonderful, man. Great birthday, and what have you. But on the morning of my birthday, I'm like, okay, well, Jamal and I are going to go over to this friend's house. We went over. We had a good time. And it was just so wonderful, and we enjoyed ourselves. And then Jamal brought me back, and I came on home. I'm sitting there. It's Saturday night, and I'm at peace. I'm feeling real good. And it's like, it's not quite over yet. What do you mean? No, it's not done yet. So I go to bed, and I wake up on Sunday morning, and I'm like, oh, wow, you know. Well, that Saturday, when I woke up on my birthday, this little voice said, all power is given me. Go into all the earth and preach the gospel. I said, well, why are you calling me to preach? You already called me to preach. She says, yeah, but you went. But now I'm going to send you. I'm sending you. And my mind went to, oh, yeah, last week I was telling them about a remnant. Yeah, those are the remnant. There are people that are interested in what you're talking about. And I'm sending you there now. I'm like, oh, my. Then I get this text from this young man that Kenny has been a mentor to for quite a while now. And he's asking me if he could give me a call. And I said, yeah. He sent me a text, and he said, can I send you a call? Can I call you? I want to talk to you about something. And I said, sure. I said, you can call me, but don't call until sometime after 12 because I have to sing at this church down in Upper Marlboro. And he says, okay, I'll get in touch with you after a while. That's the text. Okay. Earlier, I had gotten a call from a girl who says, I can run a whole PR campaign for you. I can, help you with taking advantage of this fortune that you dropped into because somebody just sampled you and put you on their song and your voice is out front and this, that, and the other. And I said, okay, that's fine. She said, but look for grants where you can get you can write a proposal for small business. I said, I don't know anything about writing proposals. I used to work at CSC. I said, and I would have to respond to the human resources portion and tell them what I was going to do and how we were going to recruit and bring people in to fulfill the requirements of the contract. I said, but that was already in place. I don't have to write any grant proposals. And by the way, I have done nothing to get to this point. Not a thing other than sit up and look at everything in my house that's still, which is basically everything other than me. Nothing is in here moving except the ticks on the clock. Other than that, everything is still. So whatever is necessary, it'll pop in because that which is to be has already been. So if I need a proposal to get a grant, and if I need the grant, it'll come in, and I'm not concerned about it. And then Kenny went to a funeral. This girl passed. She was the sister of our frat brother. She went to college with us. When she walked Delta Sigma Theta, my wife was the dean of pledges. And we had great relationships over the years. But Kenny went to her funeral and ran into a girl who is a friend. She was also in the 9th grade at my high school when I was in the 12th grade. And then she came to West Virginia State. And Kenny was talking to her, and she went on and on about how our aunt had really taught her English and how my aunt had been hard on her, which she deeply appreciates because it taught her to be firm, to be strong, and really, really, she said Miss Lipscomb was just really, really hard. You know, I'm sitting there thinking, I know Kenny was thinking this because when I talked to her, too, I was like, yeah, but you didn't have to live with her. It ended with you after an hour of class. We had to live with her, and we had that all the time. But she went on to tell Kenny, but because of her, I'm now, y'all ready for this, writing grant proposals in excess of $1 million. When Kenny said proposal, dong, that went off in my head. So since that time, Barbara and I have spoken, and she said, you know, they all call us Bob. She said, Bob, she said, let me tell you something. If anybody deserves anything, it's you. She said, that music, she said, you deserve this. You've been 47 years. I will do everything that I can to help you secure a grant if that's what's needed. I will do some research, I'll look into it, and I'll do whatever I need. I'm like, I did nothing. I just got still. That which is to be has already been, and that which has been is now. I've led you in the way to take. What way is that? Be still. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Don't think about what it is that you need. Don't even think about it. See, it's all right now. Oh, it's all right now. That's where it is. I looked at, and I suggest you guys do this too. There's a clip on YouTube, and it's called The High, and it's by Neville. And this guy named Rodriguez is actually making a presentation. And it's more like a presentation on leadership. However, he's using a lot of principles that Neville used. And it's more of like, so what are you? If you got a job that's in sales, or if you have a job in in any kind of job, if you go into it, what is your self-talk? What are you talking about? Are you living from the end? Are you realizing that which is to be has already been? Are you looking at the fact that your consciousness is saying to you, I am this, not I'm going to be this, not I'm going to go out here and sell this, not I'm going to have this, but I have it already. Why? Because it's who I am. That which I'm seeking, I am. Now, let me just share with you this. Because you are that same spirit that raised Christ from the dead, you don't need to change your consciousness. You just need to realize the consciousness that is there, that was given to you by grace, to realize, I already have this. And what Rodriguez is saying is Neville was saying, Whatever takes you to the feeling of having that which you desire, whatever takes you to that feeling, that's what your self-talk ought to be. I have this. I am this. I am the substance. I am standing under that which I desire. Now, here's what happens out here in the world. They either stay in a limited state of mind or they move into the higher states. They have to be interested in what God has promised. They have to be interested, totally given to the idea that I am this. And they have to have that self-talk. Otherwise, they're not part of the remnant. And he's saying there's a remnant that's already there that's totally fixed in the understanding that I have this. I am this. I feel this. You can't help but feel it because you are the feeling. I remember one of the guys teaching Infinite Way, Ken Lasdowski, told me one time, I said, I heard the voice say, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. He said, yeah, but Michael, remember this. It's your voice. Self-talk. You are talking within yourself to give yourself the feeling of, as Neville calls, the wish fulfilled. Think about it. How you relate within yourself will be your outer experiences relating to others, to situations, to circumstances. I'm serious. You cannot get away from what you are. You are not the mistakes. You are not the errors. You are not the sicknesses and the diseases. You are not any of that. That's why my wife looked up and smiled at me. She was like, you know me for who I am, don't you? Yep, I sure do. Yeah, is it going to hurt when you that you leave? Yes. Is it going to feel like the grieving is going on and on and on? Yes. However, I've led you in the way that you ought to take. And the grieving is going to stop because you're going to know that the grieving is not who you are. There is no death. People just transition into higher states that are already there. All form must be translated back into spirit. Now, I know y'all hear that. I don't care what you're looking at. If it looks like an error, it's an illusion. If it looks like the sky is sitting down on top of the trees on the mountain, it's an illusion. If it looks like the sky is sitting down on the water out there, which they call the horizon, it's an illusion. You know the sky is not on the water. You know the sky is not on the mountain. And there's you, the Spirit of God, that knows there's no sickness, that knows there's no death, that knows there's no poverty and no lack and no limitation, that knows it is one with God. Last night, I realized how easy it was to be one with God. You see, the Word became flesh and dwelt among them. But it starts out, in the beginning was the Word. The Word was God. So the Word becomes the image and likeness of itself, which is me and you, and that Word becomes flesh and dwells out here. And that Word relates to others as the Word. So when I see others acting unseemly, out of sorts, out of character, out of spirit, I know that that's an illusion. And I don't care how they're acting. They're the Word. And if they are not supposed to be acting that way, they have to disappear. They have to leave because they're not in your consciousness. And you won't be drawing those who have persecuted. You can be surprised how it appears that we've been persecuted for believing like this. But we know that there's no such thing, and at some particular point, God avenges us of those persecutions. When is that? When we are able to realize that we already are sons of God, no gender. We already are spirit. We already are the Word. And so when we start translating all form back into the Word that it is, we know that we're always dealing with God, because that's all there is. There is nothing but God. There is no such thing as matter. Look at Hebrews 11:3. We know, I'm just going to paraphrase it, by faith, meaning by understanding, by that which stands under each principle that God has spoken, we know that the worlds were framed by what? The Word. Everything out here in the world is framed by the Word. And that Word was God. That Word was with God. Things that appear are not made, things that are seen are not made of things that appear. They're made of the Word. They're made of the Logos. And when the Logos is spoken, it's called the Rhema. That spoken word. Those are Greek terms, but they mean the same thing. The Logos, the Rhema, they mean the same thing in Aramaic. I just didn't look them up. But there's no matter. Something is already standing under the principle of God. Guess what that something is that's standing under? Guess what that something is that's standing under your spiritual expectations? And the reason I say spiritual expectations is because everything is spirit. You are standing under, because you are the Word, and the Word becomes flesh. So the thing that you desire coming through an idea, you are standing under it, and you become that thing in possession. That's the only reason the girl says, I'll do anything to help you. She's going to relate to me not because of my aunt, not because of her being great in English writing, and she thinks that I deserve it. That's great. Those are the added things. The reality of it all is I am standing under the appearance of somebody coming to say, I can help you. And guess what? By not looking for them, by not trying to get them to come, by not trying to ask anybody for anything, because John also said, you have an unction from the Holy One that you need no help from man. What man? Man whose breath is in his nostrils. Those who are not a part of the remnant. Those who are not interested in what you're talking about. Those who are only interested in trying to get something from you to bolster their wealth. That's not who you will draw into your experience. And anyway, that word draw, I always look at it like when Jesus was saying, I will draw all men unto me. That word draws itself. That word draws the word that appears as men and women, and that's exactly how it works. Why? Because you already believe. You've been made to believe. I want to read you a couple of postings that I did this week, and it's right in line with what I'm talking about today. Let's start with February 28th. This was Monday. God is omnipresent. All. Nothing can be added or taken away. Not adding negative appearances, you will experience reality. Don't add anything. Why? Because it's an illusion if it's negative. And if it's positive, it's not made out of what appears. It's made out of the Word. And what God has done is done forever. Now let's look at March 1st. I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. You know how people say, I thought about it and I thought about it and I thought about it. Then my thoughts silenced. Why? Because of that stillness that I know that I can come to no matter what. I don't care what it is. I can just at a minute say, I am still. Why? Because that's what I am. My thoughts silenced. My mind, capital M, capital I-N-D, was like a blank page or a transparency. Then came this revelation. The it was something I thought I needed and didn't have. It was an illusion. When I couldn't think about it anymore, I felt the presence, peace. Then it appeared as form. The it that I thought I needed, I realized I had it all the time. I realized I am it. Why am I it? I didn't write this in there, but this just came to me later. Why am I the it that I was looking for? Because it is the word. And I am one with the word because I am the word, and I stand under the it. And it looks like it comes to me, but all it is a realization that I am it. Let's look at yesterday. We are filled with God. Do not I fill the heavens and the earth, Jeremiah 23 and 24. Once our consciousness is focused and filled with silence, we realize all desire is fulfilled. Not going to be. It is. It is divine principle. It is finished from the beginning. It is finished within. We are the image and likeness of God. God is the it. We too are the it that we always have. That it is our divine self. We can't get away from who we are. I remember once Neville said, you know what? You can forget where you are if basically he's talking, if you're caught up in your thought that you're a personal self or your ego self, or that you can forget where you are. You can forget what you are. You can go out, you can drop off into that illusion, but you cannot forget that you are. You can't. And because you can't forget that you are. You are the word. You know that you are. What you are then begins to ring the bell on the inside. And because you know that you are filled with God, you know that Jeremiah knew it, Isaiah knew it, Isaiah said, all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. They all shall know me. Let's look at today's post. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to add this. From the least to the greatest, all. Those who are interested in understanding the truth will know me, and the me is what? I, the Word. Remember Jesus said, destroy this temple, and who's going to raise it up? In 3 days, I. Why? I am the Word. I'm standing under this. I don't care what you do to your concept of my body. I'm just going to raise it back up. That's why I'm not afraid of death. That's why I'm not afraid of sickness and disease. I'm not afraid of any of that stuff. Because I will raise it up. Sickness and disease, those are concepts of this world, which have nothing to do with me or I or God or any of that. Because I can't find any of it in Genesis 1. I can't find any of it in the first half of John 1. I can't find it. All there is perfection, completeness. All there is I'm done working. I did nothing at all. Then I got still, and these things got added unto me. That's the appearance of it all. That's how I do these teachings. I get still. I don't try to come up with something that will be thought-provoking or, maybe they'll respond to this. Nope. I get still, and because I'm filled with God, remember it says be filled with the Spirit. Jeremiah was wisdom. Solomon, the most wise man of his time. There was no such thing as anybody wiser. That which is to be is already been. You're not coming into anything new. There's nothing new under the sun. It always is, because it was created by God word, I, Allah, Allah. I mean, you name it, there it is. The only need, this is today's post, the only need we ever have is to feel we have what we desire. We are spirit, word. Our real desire is spirit. Just think about it. Whatever you desire is spirit. It's real. Because who you are cannot desire something that is outside of God. There's no such place. So somebody who is looking for revenge against somebody, they're desiring something outside. That's not you desiring that. That's a suggestion that there's an illusion. There's a suggestion that you can go rogue, that you can go out here and do your own thing and get where you want to get to, and you don't have to pay for it. That's so far from the truth, because all rubbish goes in the trash, and all trash goes to the trash dump, and nobody concerns themselves. When was the last time you thought about what's going on at the trash dump? You don't care. In fact, you're not going over to the trash dump looking to see if somebody lost money, if somebody, if there's something over there that you can take home. And who does that? Nobody. When I say nobody, I'm talking about those who are interested in that which God is. You see, those who realize who they are, now they believe. There's no such thing as not believing. We are spirit. Our real desire is spirit. God is spirit. Then I said, case closed. Felt like hitting the gavel like a judge. Case closed. See you. That's all over. We have that same spirit that raised Jesus from the dead. Why was he raised from the dead? Because there is no dead. There is no dead. That's the only peace we can ever have. We have to translate every form back into spirit. There is nothing else. So let your self-talk be what? That which pushes me to feel that I have what I desire. And what kind of self-talk is that? Not I'm going to get this, I'm going to have this. I have this. I'm sitting around still, and guess what? The self-talk creates itself. It just starts, I started focusing on what is real, and all errant thoughts of error and illusion and anything that is outside of God, they stop for a while. But just like with Jesus, they come back at a later day. When? In an hour that you're thinking. Remember, he said, in an hour that you think not, the Son returns. But when you're thinking, you're still who you are, the reality of the truth. But Paul said, I know you're going to keep thinking, so think on these things. Whatsoever is true, lovely, good report, if they have any praise, think on these things. If they have any virtue, power, that's powerful there. If they have any power, negative things don't have any power because God is all power, so negative things would have to have God in them, and God does not live where God does not understand. God is the Word. Remember, nothing exists outside God. No evil, no matter, no such thing as a personal self. Now you believe that which I seek I am. Now you believe. Mark 11:24, what things soever you desire, when you pray, believe you receive them and you shall have them. Well, that's because of who you are. It starts with that. If you start with I am spirit, that means I am the Word. The thing that I desire is Word. I am one with it. I have to have it because it's what I am. Why? Because now I believe. Now that word pray, as we said, it means to set a trap. I am trapping God's thought. What is God's thought? Word. I'm trapping God. that which is to be is now. That which I seek, I am. That which is to be has already been, and that which has been is right now. I am that. Amen. And so it is.